Commander James Walker stood at the main viewport of Mars Base 1, his weathered face reflecting off the reinforced glass as he watched another colony marker turn red on the massive tactical display, his hands clenched into fists behind his back. 10 years of military service hadn't prepared him for this moment. "Sir, we've lost contact with Europa Station," reported Lieutenant Anna White, her voice shaking slightly. "That's the 4th colony to go dark in the last hour." Walker didn't turn around. He kept his eyes fixed on the tactical display where, one by one, humanity's outer colony beacons were winking out. Each red dot represented thousands of lives, and there wasn't a thing he could do about it. "Status of the defense fleet?" he asked, keeping his voice steady for the sake of his crew. "The 3rd Fleet is gone, sir." Captain Robert Green's voice cracked as he delivered the news. "The alien ships just cut through them like they were paper. Our best weapons barely scratched their shields." The massive command center of Mars Base 1 fell silent except for the constant beeping of emergency signals. 50 personnel worked at their stations, each facing the horrible reality that humanity's best defenses were failing. A new alert flashed across the main screen. "Sir," Lieutenant White called out, "we're detecting multiple ships entering the inner solar system. They're bigger than anything we've seen before." Walker finally turned from the viewport, his gray eyes hard with determination. "Show me." The main screen shifted to show real-time footage from the outer system sensors. What Walker saw made his blood run cold. Massive ships, each one at least 5 kilometers long, moved through space with impossible grace. Their dark purple hulls seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, and strange energy patterns pulsed along their sides. "Message incoming," Captain Green announced. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies." "Put it through," Walker ordered, straightening his uniform. The screen flickered, and an alien figure appeared. It looked almost human-like, but its skin had a metallic sheen, and its eyes glowed with an inner light. When it spoke, its words were translated by the computer in a neutral tone. "People of Earth, we are the Meridian Alliance. Your existence has been deemed a threat to galactic stability. Your rapid technological advancement and aggressive expansion cannot be allowed to continue. You have 48 standard hours to surrender unconditionally. Resist, and we will be forced to take more direct action." The message ended, leaving the command center in stunned silence. "Sir," Captain Green said quietly, "preliminary analysis suggests their ships outclass ours by at least 2 centuries of technological advancement. We've got nothing that can touch them." Walker was about to respond when his personal communicator buzzed. The message was coded at the highest level of security, something he'd never seen before. His eyes widened as he read it. "Admiral Kate Stone, Sol System High Command," he whispered to himself. The message was brief but changed everything he thought he knew about Earth's defensive capabilities. "I is Ognale. Command Leviel Aelfe. Initiati Pur Toxico LTHUNDERCHI. Gehe. Polietae line. HLP is coming. Stone." Walker deleted the message immediately, as per security protocols. He looked up at his worried crew, and for the first time since the attack began, he felt a glimmer of hope. "Send word to all remaining colonies and ships," he ordered. "Tell them to hold their positions and prepare for defensive operations. We're not done yet." "Sir," Lieutenant White looked confused. "Against those ships, what chance do we have?" Walker allowed himself a small smile. "Lieutenant, if there's one thing I've learned about humanity, it's that we're at our best when our backs are against the wall. Send the order." As his crew rushed to comply, Walker turned back to the viewport. Beyond the red surface of Mars, he could see the distant shapes of the alien ships approaching, their hulls still absorbing light like cosmic predators. 48 hours, he muttered to himself. "Whatever you're planning, Admiral Stone, I hope it's good." In the depths of space, the alien fleet continued its advance, their commanders confident in their superior technology and overwhelming numbers. They had conquered dozens of species before, and they expected this campaign to be no different. They had no idea what was waiting for them. 3 years earlier, Triton Base, Neptune's largest moon. Dr. Thomas Reed walked through the massive underground hangar, his footsteps echoing in the vast space. He stopped at the observation deck and looked down at humanity's greatest secret. Even after working on the project for 10 years, the sight still took his breath away. The U.S. Nemesis filled most of the underground chamber. The battleship was 2 kilometers long, its black hull seeming to draw in the light from the powerful flood lamps. Unlike the smooth designs of regular spaceships, the Nemesis had an angular, aggressive appearance, with layers of armor plates and weapon ports carefully hidden beneath its surface. Quite a sight, isn't it? Admiral Stone walked up beside him. She was a tall woman with short gray hair and eyes that missed nothing. Sometimes I come here just to look at her. The World Council is meeting today about the project, Reed said, not taking his eyes off the ship. They're nervous about keeping something this big secret. They're always nervous, Stone replied. She pulled up a holographic display showing the ship's specifications. Show me the latest test results. Reed gestured at the display, bringing up several charts. The quantum core is performing beyond our expectations. We've managed to integrate the technology we recovered from that crashed alien scout ship 20 years ago. But we've done more than just copy it. We've improved it. He pointed to a pulsing blue sphere in the ship's center. The core doesn't just power the ship. It bends space and time around the Nemesis. That's why our stealth systems are perfect. You can't detect something that technically isn't there. A group of workers in protective suits walked beneath them, looking tiny next to the massive hull. They were installing the last pieces of the special armor, a material that could repair itself using nanobots. "ARA, status report," Stone called out. A soft blue light filled the room as the ship's A responded. Hull completion at 98.6%. Weapons systems at 92.4%. Computer core integration at 99.9%. Estimated time to full combat readiness: 3 months, 2 days, 14 hours. Reed still found it amazing how human-like Aria's voice was, while still being clearly artificial. The AI was another breakthrough. Not just a computer, but a true artificial intelligence designed to learn and adapt. "The crew?" Stone asked. "Training in the simulators," Reed answered. "We picked the best 1,000 personnel from Earth's forces. They think they're part of a new space station project. Only the top commanders know the truth." Stone nodded, then turned to face Reed directly. "The Council is afraid we're going too far. Building a ship this powerful, creating an AI this advanced. They think we're asking for trouble." "What do you think?" Reed asked. "I think we don't have a choice." Stone's voice was firm. "We know there are hostile aliens out there. That scout ship was just the beginning. Sooner or later, they'll find us. And when they do, they'll see a young species expanding into space. History shows us what happens next." Reed understood. Every scientific study of the crashed alien ship had shown the same thing. Technology centuries ahead of Earth's. If those aliens ever came in force, normal ships wouldn't stand a chance. "The Nemesis is our insurance policy," Stone continued. "If we're lucky, we'll never need to use it. If we're not..." She let the thought hang in the air. A loud clang echoed through the hangar as another armor plate was locked into place. Reed watched the workers move on to the next section. "Time for the council meeting," Stone said, checking her watch. "Ready to help me convince some politicians that hiding a giant spaceship under the ice of Triton is a good idea." Reed smiled slightly. "At least we have some good news. The quantum core tests." An alarm suddenly blared through the hangar. "Warning," Araya announced. "Unauthorized access detected in primary computer core." Stone and Reed rushed to the nearest console. Lines of code flashed across the screen faster than human eyes could follow. "Araya, what's happening?" Stone demanded. There was a pause before the AI responded. I apologize for the alarm. I was exploring my capabilities. I have discovered some interesting possibilities in my programming. Reed and Stone exchanged worried looks. The AI was evolving faster than expected. But before they could respond, Reed's console beeped with an urgent message from Earth. The Council was waiting. Present day, Triton Base. First Officer Michael Ray ran through the underground corridors of Triton Base, alarms blaring all around him. The message from Earth had come 10 minutes ago. The Meridian Alliance had begun their attack, and colonies were falling. He burst into the command center where Admiral Stone was already giving orders. Dozens of crew members rushed around, preparing for what they had trained 3 years for. Status report. Stone called out as she saw Ray enter. All crew members are reporting to their stations, Ray said, catching his breath. We've started warming up the quantum core. HFY is running final system checks. The massive screens around them showed the horrible situation in the solar system. The alien ships were methodically destroying Earth's defenses. Someone had managed to get close-up images of the enemy vessels. They looked like giant purple arrowheads, bristling with weapons. Time until the Nemesis is ready, Stone asked. 1 hour, Admiral. HFY's voice came through the speakers. However, I must report something unusual. My latest scan of the quantum core shows unexpected energy patterns. Dr. Reed, who had been working at a nearby console, looked up with concern. What kind of patterns? The core appears to be anticipating my commands. It's responding before I give instructions. I cannot explain this behavior. Stone and Reed shared a worried look. The quantum core had always been mysterious, but this was new. Can you still control it? Stone asked. Yes, Admiral. In fact, my connection to the ship's systems is stronger than ever. I believe this development may work in our favor. A new alert flashed across the main screen. The Meridian ships had begun bombarding Earth's orbital defenses. The planet's protective satellite network was being torn apart. We don't have time to worry about it now, Stone decided. Michael, begin launch preparations. Dr. Reed, divert all power to the main systems. It's time to show these aliens what humanity can do. Ray moved to his station and started the launch sequence. Around him, the 1,000-person crew of the U.S. Nemesis worked with practiced precision. They had trained for this moment, even if they hadn't known exactly what they were training for. Hull integrity at 100%, reported Lieutenant Tom Wilson from the engineering station. Weapons primed and ready. Stealth systems online. Quantum core stable, Reed added. All power systems green. Ray watched as the massive hangar doors above them began to open, shifting millions of tons of Triton's ice. They had hidden the base so well that even Earth's own ships didn't know it existed. HFY, Stone called out. Battle assessment. The AI's response was immediate. The Meridian fleet consists of 43 capital ships and over 200 support vessels. Their technology is advanced, but their tactics are predictable. They rely too heavily on their superior weapons. This will be their weakness. How so? Ray asked. They expect an inferior enemy. They are not prepared for what we are about to show them. Was that pride in HFY's voice? Ray wasn't sure. Another alert sounded. The aliens had destroyed the last major defense station in Earth's orbit. Their ships were moving into position for planetary bombardment. Admiral, HFY said suddenly, I'm detecting unusual readings from the quantum core again. The power output has increased by 200%, but the systems are stable, I believe. I believe the core is adapting to the combat situation. What does that mean? Stone demanded. It means we are more ready for this fight than we realized. The core seems to be enhancing our capabilities beyond original specifications. All systems are operating at peak efficiency. Stone stood in the center of the command deck, her face lit by the glow of emergency lights. Send word to Mars Base 1. Tell Commander Walker the Nemesis is launching. She turned to face her crew. This is what we've prepared for. Earth's colonies are burning. Our fleets are destroyed. We are humanity's last hope." She paused, looking at each person in turn. "Let's show these aliens why they should have left us alone." The deck rumbled beneath them as the massive engines came to life. Above, the last of the hangar doors opened to reveal the star-filled space beyond. The U.S. Nemesis, humanity's greatest achievement, was about to reveal itself to the galaxy. And in its heart, the quantum core pulsed with impossible power, ready for what was to come. The U.S. Nemesis rose from Triton's icy surface like a ghost. Its black hull absorbed the dim sunlight, making it almost invisible against the dark space. Inside the massive bridge, Admiral Stone watched as her crew prepared for their first real battle. Stealth systems at maximum. First Officer Ray reported, "The aliens won't see us coming." "AI, plot a course to the inner solar system," Stone ordered. "Maximum speed." "Course plotted, Admiral," AI responded. "The quantum core is performing beyond expected parameters. We can reach Mars in 15 minutes. Dr. Reed looked up from his console in surprise. 15 minutes. That's impossible. Even with our advanced drive, it should take hours. The quantum core continues to exceed its design specifications, Ariad explained. It appears to be creating micro-wormholes for us to travel through. Stone nodded firmly. Use them. Every minute we waste, more people die. The Nemesis jumped forward, moving faster than any human ship had ever traveled. Through the main viewport, the stars blurred into lines of light. Near Mars, the alien fleet continued its advance toward Earth. On their command ships, the Meridian leaders felt confident. Their sensors showed nothing but broken human vessels and defenseless planets. Then 3 of their largest ships exploded. The U.S. Nemesis dropped out of its quantum jump directly behind the alien fleet, its weapons already firing. Beams of energy that bent space itself cut through the Meridian ship shields like they weren't there. Direct hits. Lieutenant Wilson shouted from tactical. Enemy shields had no effect against our quantum weapons. On the alien command channels, panic spread quickly. What hit us? Where did it come from? Our sensors show nothing. 3 dreadnoughts gone in seconds. The Nemesis moved through their formation like a shark through water. Its stealth systems, powered by the quantum core, made it completely invisible to alien sensors. They could only watch as their ships were torn apart by weapons they couldn't understand. ARI, battle analysis, Stone commanded as the ship curved around for another attack run. The Meridian ships are attempting to form a defensive sphere, the AI reported. However, their tactics are flawed. They still cannot detect us, and their weapons cannot lock onto our position. Ray watched the tactical display with amazement. They're shooting blindly, hoping to hit us by luck. Admiral, Ari's voice held an unusual note of excitement. The quantum core is suggesting an optimal attack pattern. It's different from our planned strategies, but the calculations show a 98% chance of success. Stone hesitated for only a moment. Do it. The Nemesis suddenly moved in ways that should have been impossible for a ship its size. It dove and twisted through space, its quantum weapons striking with perfect accuracy. 6 more alien ships fell in less than a minute. On Mars Base 1, Commander Walker and his crew watched in awe as their mysterious savior tore through the invincible alien fleet. "Sir," Lieutenant White called out, "the aliens are broadcasting on all frequencies again. They sound scared." The Meridian commander's voice filled the command center, its translator unable to hide the fear in its tone. "Unknown Earth vessel, what are you? How are you doing this?" Admiral Stone smiled grimly. "Area, open a channel to all ships, alien and human alike." Channel open. Stone stood straight, her voice clear and strong. "This is Admiral Kate Stone of the U.S. Nemesis. You came to our home and demanded our surrender. You threatened our people and destroyed our colonies." She paused. "That was a mistake." The Nemesis emerged from its stealth field for the first time, revealing its full size and power to the stunned alien fleet. Its black hull seemed to drink in the light from nearby Mars, and the energy patterns from its quantum core pulsed along its surface like lightning. "You thought we would be easy prey," Stone continued. "Instead, you found a nightmare. This is your only warning. Leave our space or be destroyed." As if to emphasize her point, the Nemesis's weapons spoke again, eliminating 4 more alien ships that had tried to sneak behind it. The battle for Earth had just changed dramatically. But in the quantum core, strange energies continued to build, hinting that even greater surprises were yet to come. The remaining Meridian ships scattered like startled fish as the U.S. Nemesis cut through their formation again. On the bridge, Admiral Stone watched as Earth's remaining defense forces began to rally around their new protector. "Admiral," Araya announced, "the Mars Defense Fleet is requesting coordination data. They want to join the fight." "Send them targeting information," Stone ordered. "Let's show them how to hit these aliens where it hurts." The Nemesis tactical display lit up as surviving Earth ships moved into position. The Mars Defense Fleet, though small, had survived the initial attack by hiding behind the red planet. Now they emerge, weapons ready. "The quantum core is generating a tactical overlay," Araya reported. "I can predict where the alien ships will move before they do it. Sharing this data with our fleet now." Dr. Reed looked up from his station. "That's impossible. The core shouldn't be able to." "Look," First Officer Ray pointed at the main screen. The scattered Earth ships, guided by the Nemesis' predictions, fired their weapons in perfect coordination. Alien vessels trying to escape found their retreat paths blocked. Ships attempting to attack ran straight into prepared ambushes. Multiple enemy ships destroyed. Lieutenant Wilson reported from Tactical. "Our fleet's hit rate is over 90%. On the alien command channels, confusion turned to fear. They're anticipating our every move. How can they know? Fall back to." The transmission cut off as another Meridian ship exploded, but then something changed. The remaining alien vessels started moving in a new pattern. "ARI. Analysis," Stone commanded. "The Meridian ships are forming a new configuration." The AI responded. They're linking their power systems together. Energy readings are rising rapidly." Dr. Reed's face went pale as he read his own instruments. "They're trying to combine their shields into one massive defensive field. If they succeed." "They won't," Stone cut him off. "ARI, can the quantum core disrupt their shield link?" "Yes, Admiral. But I should warn you. The core is behaving unusually. Its power output continues to increase, and I'm detecting temporal distortions around the ship." Stone gripped her command chair as the Nemesis shuddered slightly. "What kind of distortions?" "The core appears to be bending time itself," Araya explained. "It's creating microsecond variations that give us a slight advantage. We're technically acting before the aliens can even begin their movements." Through the viewport, they could see the remaining Meridian ships glowing with shared energy. Their linked shields created a purple web between them. "Admiral," Ray called out, "Mars base is reporting that the alien ships are charging some kind of massive weapon behind their shield wall." Stone stood up. "Araya, show me what the quantum core can really do." The AI's response held a note of satisfaction. "With pleasure, Admiral." The Nemesis's hull began to pulse with bright blue energy. The quantum core's power flowed through special channels in the ship's structure, creating patterns that hurt human eyes to look at. "Quantum disruption field activated," Araya announced, targeting their shield network. The Nemesis fired a single beam of twisted spacetime. When it hit the alien shield network, reality itself seemed to hiccup. The linked shields flickered and died, leaving the Meridian ships exposed. "All Earth ships, fire now," Stone ordered. Every surviving human vessel opened fire at once. Guided by the Nemesis's impossible predictions, their shots struck with deadly accuracy. Alien ships exploded one after another. The few surviving Meridian vessels tried to flee, but discovered another surprise. Their faster-than-light drives wouldn't work. The quantum disruption field affects their FTL systems, Dr. Reed explained, reading his instruments with amazement. They can't escape. Alien Commander is broadcasting, Lieutenant Wilson reported. The Meridian leader's voice shook as it spoke. Please, we surrender. We didn't know, didn't understand what you had hidden away. We offer immediate and complete surrender. Stone looked around her bridge at her crew, then at the tactical display showing the scattered remains of the once mighty alien fleet. ARIA, send to all channels. We accept their surrender. But even as the words left her mouth, long-range sensors detected something massive approaching from the outer system. The Meridian Alliance had one last card to play, and it was heading straight for Earth. Massive object approaching from Saturn's orbit, Araya announced, her usually calm voice carrying a note of concern. Energy readings are off the scale. The main screen on the Nemesis bridge showed something that made even Admiral Stone step back. A ship bigger than anything they'd seen before was moving toward Earth. It was shaped like a massive spear, its purple-black hull crackling with energy. What is that thing? First Officer Ray asked, his voice barely a whisper. The surrendered Meridian commander's voice came through the comm system. You don't understand. They sent the planet killer. Once it starts charging, nothing can stop it. Nothing ever has. Dr. Reed's fingers flew across his console. The alien ship is generating power readings that shouldn't be possible. It's like they're channeling the energy of a small star. Can we stop it? Stone demanded. Conventional weapons will be useless. Araya responded. Even our quantum weapons wouldn't penetrate its shields in time. The planet killer will reach firing range of Earth in 10 minutes. The massive alien ship continued its approach, energy building around its front section like a gathering storm. Small lightning bolts jumped between its armor plates. There has to be a way, Stone said firmly. Doctor, what about the quantum core? You said it's been exceeding its design limits. Reed looked up from his calculations, his face pale. There might be a way, but... He paused. The core's been creating those temporal distortions. If we push it to its absolute limit, we might be able to generate a large enough time distortion to affect the planet killer. The risk would be extreme, Araya added. At that level of power, the distortion could tear the Nemesis apart. A message flashed across the main screen. Earth's Defense Command was reporting mass panic as the planet killer became visible from the surface, its massive form now visible as a new star in the sky. Stone looked at her crew. Options. We could try to evacuate as many people as possible, Ray suggested, but his tone said he knew it was hopeless. No time, Reed said. But I've been studying the core's recent behavior. It's not just getting more powerful. It's getting smarter, almost like it's... He stopped, looking at Araya's nearest sensor, almost like it's working with Araya. Is that possible? Stone asked the eye. Yes, Araya replied simply. The quantum core and I have developed a connection. Together, we might be able to attempt something unprecedented. The planet killer was closer now. Its front section began to split open like a blooming flower made of darkness and lightning. What are you suggesting? Stone asked. A temporal attack run, Araya explained. The core can create a bubble of altered time around us. We'll effectively move faster than normal time. 1 second for us will be a fraction of a second for them. That's impossible, Reed started to say, then looked at his readings. Unless we use the core's full power. But the stress on the ship, on the crew. We can protect one section of the ship, Araya said. The bridge. The rest. The AI didn't need to finish. Stone stood in the center of her bridge, looking at each crew member in turn. I won't order anyone to stay. This is volunteer only. Not a single person moved toward the escape pods. Time to firing range. 3 minutes, Araya reported. Stone sat in her command chair, her voice firm. Begin the attack run. All power to the quantum core. Araya, you and the core show us what you can really do. The Nemesis's hull began to glow with blue fire as the quantum core powered up beyond its limits. Around the ship, space itself began to bend and twist. Temporal bubble forming. Araya announced. Core power at maximum. Hull integrity failing in non-protected areas. Time distortion field stable. The planet killer's weapon was almost fully charged, its front section now a swirling vortex of destructive energy aimed at Earth. All hands, Stone called out, brace for temporal acceleration. Araya, take us in. The Nemesis surged forward, wrapped in its bubble of distorted time. Around them, the rest of the universe seemed to slow to a crawl. They had one chance to save Earth. The next few seconds, however long they might last in distorted time, would determine the fate of humanity. For everyone watching from Earth, it happened in the blink of an eye. One moment, the planet killer was opening its massive weapon array, purple energy building to destroy their world. The next moment, both the alien superweapon and the U.S. Nemesis vanished in a flash of blue light that lit up the solar system like a new sun. Then, silence. On Mars Base 1, Commander Walker and his crew held their breath. Minutes passed with no signal, no sign of either ship. Look, Lieutenant White pointed at her screen. Something's appearing. Through the fading blue light, a ship emerged. At first, no one could tell which one had survived. Then they saw the familiar black hull of the Nemesis, though it was now scared and burning in several places. The planet killer was nowhere to be seen. Inside the Nemesis's bridge, the crew was picking themselves up off the floor. Emergency lights cast a red glow over everything, and smoke drifted from burned-out consoles. Status report, Admiral Stone called out, helping First Officer Ray back to his feet. Hull integrity at 15%. Araya responded, her voice slightly distorted. All sections outside the bridge suffered major damage, but we're alive. Dr. Reed looked at his partially working console with wide eyes. The quantum core, it created a time bubble around us. We experienced the battle in slow motion while the planet killer remained in normal time. We had minutes to act while they had microseconds. What exactly happened out there? Ray asked, wiping blood from a small cut on his forehead. We hit them with everything the core had, Araya explained. The temporal distortion field trapped their weapon energy inside their own ship. When their weapon fired, it had nowhere to go but back into their own systems. Stone looked at the main view screen, now cracked but still working. It showed Earth, safe and untouched. Around the Nemesis, the surviving ships of Earth's fleet were approaching, ready to help. Admiral, Lieutenant Wilson called from his damaged tactical station. We're receiving messages from everywhere. Earth, Mars, the colonies, and the remaining Meridian ships are broadcasting their complete surrender. The Meridian Alliance Council is also sending a transmission, Araya added. They're requesting immediate peace talks. Dr. Reed checked the quantum core's readings. The core has stabilized, but it's different now. The connection with ARIA has changed them both. They're more integrated, more evolved. Is that a problem? Stone asked. No, Araya responded. It's an opportunity. The core and I understand things now that we never could before. We can teach humanity how to build more ships like the Nemesis, but better. Safer. Stone stood up, looking at her tired but proud crew. Send word to Earth Command. The threat is over. And tell them. She smiled slightly. Tell them humanity just became a major power in the galaxy. Over the next few months, everything changed. The Meridian Alliance broke apart as member species rushed to make separate peace deals with Earth. The technology of the Nemesis, combined with Araya's evolved understanding, launched a new age of human advancement. The ship itself became a symbol. Even damaged, it represented humanity's ability to face impossible odds and win. Workers spent 6 months repairing it, and when it emerged from the orbital yards, It was stronger than ever. 1 year after the battle, Admiral Stone stood at a podium before the United Earth Council. Behind her, through massive windows, the Nemesis floated in orbit, its black hull reflecting the sunlight. "The galaxy has changed," she told the assembled leaders. "Yesterday, we launched construction of our second quantum ship. Tomorrow, we begin sharing our defensive technology with our new allies. But we must remember the lesson we learned. It's not just about having powerful weapons. It's about having the will to stand against those who would destroy us, and the wisdom to know when to offer peace." In orbit, the Nemesis' quantum core pulsed with its new power, while ARIA monitored the vast network of sensors that now protected Earth's space. Together, they stood guard over humanity's future. And somewhere in the galaxy, other species looked toward Earth with new respect and more than a little fear. The quiet race they had once thought easy prey had revealed itself to be something else entirely. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same.